All right, all right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwath that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. Mr. Brother Shawab Amwan back at you with another lesson and going into the title. All right. Everything digital 2026. All right, and that's what's going to happen, all right, in the next couple of weeks, all right, until we enter into 2026. You're going to hear constant talk of this digital ID, all right, because they're trying to make everything digital, all right, in 2026. Okay, they're going to introduce this digital ID to you, which eventually is going to turn into, all right, the RFID, all right, CHIP, okay, going into the mark of the BEAST, okay. So, you know, this has been the precursor, all right, that's going to lead to the mark of the beast at the end of the day, man, all right. It's going to be a physical implementation that's going to be put into your right hand or into your foreheads, all right, which they've been telling you already and prepping you for years, okay, but now they're prepping you more than ever, all right, with this digital ID biometric system that they're trying to bring into play in this new world order, okay? So I'm gonna play a couple of videos real quick, and then I'll grab a couple precepts and close it out. All right, so before I play, so lucky on that. That wasn't supposed to play like that. So before I play one of the videos, I'm gonna read what's being said here. All right, it says breaking: U.S. dollar recall is coming to America. Washington just confirmed plans to replace the traditional U.S. dollar with a brand new digital version. You see, everything's going to be digital. If you hold U.S. dollars in any bank account, you must prepare before the switch goes live. All right. And this is something that we've been telling you for a while. All right. That if you do have money, man, start taking them out these banks. All right. Because remember, they're constantly telling you about cyber attacks, constantly warning you of these different cyber attacks. All right. So it's only matter of time. All right. It's only going to be matter of time before they actually literally, hold on real quick. Before they actually literally cyber attack this place, man. And it's been going out for, you know, I will say for the past year. You know, they've been telling you over and over about different types of cyber attacks, showing you that America's not able to have they're not prepared for it. All right, they're always telling you, oh, we got cyber attacked here, we got cyber attacked there. You see, if you had such a strong defense system, right, like they claim to have, why the hell are you getting so much cyber attacks coming through? All right, and it's all because it's designed and orchestrated by these elites, man. So, you know, America themselves are allowing these cyber attacks to come because this is what they want. This is how they plan it. All right, and they're gonna always point the finger and blame it on somebody else. All right, when in all reality, they're the ones that is allowing it to come through. Because remember, these countries, they all sit together, right, and conspire against you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. They conspire against you on different agendas of how they can bring this in, all right, and how can they bring these new systems in. This is why you see worldwide all these different banks are closing down, all these different banks are switching to digital currency, okay? And it's only a matter of time before America, Babylon the Great, all right, is finally joined with the rest of these nations. You see, they did everything from the outside first, all right, because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah is saving, all right, Babylon the Great for last, all right, because Babylon the Great is, you know, is that number one target, all right, and Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah's hit list. All right, and he's saving that for last. So he making all these countries worldwide, all right, switch over. All right, so when that time comes, all right, the only thing left to switch over to is going to be America. Okay, so it says this isn't a conspiracy. It's the biggest monetary shift in 100 years. They're calling it Dollar 2.0, a new programmable version of the dollar that will replace cash and checking accounts. It will change how money moves, how it's spent, and who controls it. And that's what it's really about. It's about total control, all right? Total technocracy. All right. This is why they have, Palantir. They have all these different type of systems, all right, being brought out that are new, that are, all in tie with the digital system. Okay, this is why they're bringing you, these smart cities, these grab and go stations, because it's all going to play a part in this biometric system, all right, which eventually is going to lead to, that RFID, all right, the mark of the beast, because all roads lead to the MOTB. Okay, so it says more than 110 U.S. banks have already joined the pilot network building Dollar 2.0. Bank of America calls it the foundation for the next generation of U.S. money. All right. And that's why eventually, all right, it's going to be turned into Revelations 13 and 16. All right. Let's just grab that real quick because eventually it's going to come out. All right. This is Revelations 13 and 16. And it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the MARK or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You see, so you're not going to be able to buy or sell, all right, make any type of transactions, man, unless you are saved by this MARK, all right, which that's just you being saved in Esau's world, man. All right, that's just you putting your trust in the shadow of Egypt. All right, when the Lord has the true saving for you, man, the true salvation, all right, which is, you keeping the word of his patience so that you will not be, tempted in that hour of temptation, man. All right, pertaining to Revelations 3 and 10. Okay. The Lord told you to hold fast that which thou has, that no man snatch their crown, right? Because we have the greatest thing that you can ever have, the stability for these days, man, which is this knowledge and wisdom that the Lord has provided for us, man. All right. So we, all right, have to continue to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. The Lord said it is better to put confidence in the Lord than to put your confidence in man. Okay. The Lord told you not to lean, all right, into Egypt. All right, not to lean into the shadow of Egypt, because that's going to be what? Your confusion. You see, that's going to be your downfall. All right, because this is what they're going to try to do anyway. They're going to try to starve you out. They're going to try to thirst you out. They're going to try to, push this agenda on you, whether you want it or not. All right, and you got people that think they're going to be able to fight, all right, against the government. The government don't give a shit. All right, they're going to literally just roll this thing out and put you in a predicament. You see, they playing chess. All right. And if you don't know how to play chess and you don't know how to play your pieces, all right, then they're going to put your ass in checkmate. You see? And when that checkmate comes, it's going to make you bow down. You see? But Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is giving you the playbook, right, to be able to play that chess game with this damn devil. All right. And put him in checkmate ultimately. All right. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, by bringing out this word. All right. By continually following and constantly putting your trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and none other. You see? So again, it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the MARK or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, so let's go back. All right, it says more than 110 U.S. banks have already joined the pilot network building Dollar 2.0. Bank of America calls it the foundation for the next generation of U.S. money. You see, but we have a foundation already set. All right, as the Lord said, all right, if you have that rock solid foundation, all right, when the bumps and the bruises, the wind blows and the rain descends, all right, your house is not going to suffer to be broken up. You see, your house is not going to fall. Why? Because your house is built on the foundation of Yahweh Shai. not on the foundation of these devils, man. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's just grab that real quick. All right. This is Matthew. All right. 7 and 24. It says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man. Okay. But which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell not, because it was founded upon a rock. You see, it was founded upon that rock solid foundation. All right. So nothing's going to be able to move you. You're going to be steadfast and unmovable. All right. Always abiding in the love of the Lord, always abiding in the work of the Lord, always constantly putting your trust in the Lord. All right. It says, and everyone that heareth the sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, all right, which built his house upon the sand, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and it beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. Okay. Why? Because they were built on a house of sand, a foundation of sand. All right. Ultimately being built on Esau's foundation, man. Okay. And we know that Esau is going to be taken out the way and destroyed. So why would you follow after a foundation that's going to be destroyed? Okay. Now, let's grab this. This is Isaiah, all right, 31 and 1. And it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, all right, representing what? Power. Okay. Because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh. Okay. Now let's jump down to 3. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not Yahweh, and their horse is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that hopeth shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. Okay. So they are flesh, man. All right. They are carnal. That's a carnal foundation. We have a spiritual foundation. Okay. And because these people, all right, are natural men. Okay. That's why 2/3 is going to follow after that foundation that Esau has set up for them, man. All right. And they're never going to be able to have the foundation of Yahweh Shai. All right. As a matter of fact, let me grab that. This is 1 Corinthians 1, and actually it might be 2. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Yeah, this is 2. 1 Corinthians 2, and let's grab it from 12, right? It says, actually, you know what? Let me grab it from 11. It says, for what man knoweth the things of man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of Yahweh knoweth no man, but the spirit of Yahweh. Now we have received not the spirit of the world. You see, not to have that spirit of the world is not having that foundation of the world, man. It says, but the spirit which is of Yahweh. See, that's the foundation that the Lord has set up for us, man, that we might know the things that are freely given unto us of Yahweh, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of Yahweh, okay? For they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. You see? So when that time comes, all right, that this thing is rolled out and made mandatory, because they have no spiritual discernment, all right, and they don't have a spiritual foundation, that's why they're going to line up, you see, because they have depended on the wisdom of man. You see, they have depended on the ways of society instead of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You see, you're supposed to have that covering, all right, of the Lord, man. Let's go to Isaiah 30. All right, and 1, and it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit. You see? So they are not covering themselves with the foundation that the Lord has provided for them, man. All right. That's why when that time comes, they're going to constantly be in that carnal mindset. All right. And being in a carnal mindset is going to give you carnal results. All right. And those carnal results is going to be you ultimately lining up. All right. For you to take this MOTB. Okay. For you putting all your chips and going all in on Esau, man. You see? So it says that walk down into Egypt, meaning America, because we are spiritually Sodom and Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Okay. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. You see? So they're going to be confused once they see that they tried to put their trust in this system. All right. And that system wasn't what you thought it was, man. All right. Now he got you where he wants you. Remember, this devil's a cunning hunter. All right. So all he's been doing is setting up the bait. All right. And throwing his little fish hook out there, man, and waiting to see who's going to bite for it. All right. And a lot of people are about to bite with it. All right. Bite that hook, bite that bait when it comes to this digital system. Okay. Because he going to put you in a panic attack, man. He going to put you, all right. And he going to put you in a predicament, all right, to fight for yours, basically. All right. It's either going to be life. It's either going to be you comply and you be all right, or you don't comply and you pretty much, are excluded from society. You're going to be one to die off. Okay. And these people don't have the spirit of wanting to move on to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai's kingdom, man. You see, they much rather, take the easy way out to just bow down to this damn devil and, have pleasures of sin for a season, man. Okay. So let's jump down real quick to 12. It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. All right. And that's what's going to happen because you have trusted in perverseness. You have trusted in that oppression that this devil has in store for you, man. So you should be already in that mindset of, man, wanting to be out of oppression. We've been oppressed so damn long that why the hell would you want why would you want to continue to, live in this damn devil's shadow, man? Ain't nothing that this devil has done for us has benefited us anyway. You see? Even when these people give up their souls and and sell their souls to this devil, they don't receive nothing on this side, man. All you do get is a bunch of nonsense and pleasures that the Lord looks as abominations, man. That's why the Lord looks at them as enemies. You see, because anybody that's a friend of the world, all right, is enmity to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, like it tells you in James 4:4. All right. So now let's go back to this little article, and it says even Fed Chair Jerome Powell admitted a U.S. CBDC could help maintain the dollar's international standing. You see, he goes the lies of it can help. It's for your convenience. That's you. By him saying it's a help is what's going to have them trusting in the shadow of Egypt. You see, but that's going to be your confusion. Okay, because the scriptures say, man, that they shall be throwing their gold and silver in the streets. So they're going to collapse the dollar. Money's not going to be worth nothing. And at one point, precious metals, all right, is going to go up for a little bit. But eventually the precious metals is going to be nothing either. You see, because the Lord prophesied that they shall throw their gold and silver in the streets, man. All right. So none of that is going to be worth Salakia, anything. All right, because they only have one agenda. It's for you to get this damn RFID in your body. Okay. So now they can hack you. Now they can control you. Okay. So continuing on, it says, meanwhile, the world is dumping dollars. China, Russia, Brazil, even Saudi Arabia, their goal, a new de-dollarized financial system. Washington's response, recall old dollars, then replace them with a digital currency under full control of the Fed. But here's what nobody tells you. Every financial reset creates two groups. Those who lost everything overnight, and that's what's going to happen, man. especially when that cyber attack comes. When that cyber attack comes, these people gonna wake up with nothing in their bank accounts, man. You see, this is why we've been telling you, take your money out your bank accounts. You know, and honestly, you know, the smart kind of thing to do is buy some gold and some silver. All right. But even then, you're not going to put your trust in that, man, because we're going to put our trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's only going to last for a little bit of time. You see, but it's going to be, you know, easy to barter with in that time. Okay. So it says, because this time the recall isn't just a threat, it's a once in a generation wealth window, but only if you understand what's actually happening. Okay. It says behind the scenes, businesses are panicking. All right. And this is why you see so many people not having jobs. You know, people, all types of jobs are constantly, you know, bringing out, you know, we're hiring, but they, you know, you see the same fucking sign for the past 3-4 months, because deep down, they really can't hire anybody, man. They can't afford to pay anybody. This place is collapsing. All right. Your cruel Lord, your president, is making this place collapse more and more. All right. And that's why it's made by design, you see, to basically take out that middle class. That middle class is done for. Okay. The middle classes was hurting the most, you know, and then eventually the poor is going to hurt. And it's going to be a world made for the rich only, and the rich trying to control everybody else. All right. Which is going to be considered the poor. All right. Especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Right. It says, and this means total confusion. Yeah. Babylon the Great. Hey, this is nothing new that you can expect. You see, this is what America's about. This is what Babylon is about. Total confusion. Okay. And that's why we read that, right? That trusting in the shadow of Egypt, trusting in Pharaoh is going to be your shame and your confusion. Okay. Small businesses have no idea how to adapt, and that's exactly where the opportunity lies. Let me explain. It says businesses will pay 5 figures a year to help them navigate AI-powered digital payment systems. You don't have to be a tech genius, all right? It has a big red X, another red X. You don't have to create AI apps, but then it has a green check. All you have to do is act as the middle man. Here's how, okay? Then it says rent out AI systems to businesses, spend 1 to 2 hours a day managing them, charge them a monthly recurring fee. This is exact strategy if I've been using for the last 5 years to make 50,000 to 70K a month. All right. And man, that's just going to be done away with. All right. It says I profited 4 years ago when businesses switched from manual emails to automated mass emails. I profited in 2022 when businesses were scrambling to adopt the new chat GPT. All right. And I will profit when businesses switch to the digital dollar. Okay. And it says, and who gonna be the ones that's gonna benefit it off the most, man? The ones that created all these AI systems, man. These robots is gonna be these robots is gonna profit more over an actual human. All right, and whoever created that robot is the one that's gonna be getting most of this bread. You see, that's sad that a fucking technology damn robot is gonna profit over actual humans, man. You see, that's why they want everybody to switch to these AI systems. All right, because now they don't have to pay you. They don't have to pay nobody. That's why they have introduced you to this universal basic income. You see, to be lazy at home and just collect a paycheck. Like it's basically everybody on unemployment. The new unemployment is universal basic income. You know. So it says 99% of people are panicking about AI taking over, and 1% is quietly using the AI boom to build wealth. You see, and that's pretty much the rest on that, right? Now let's grab a different one. Let me see. This is scientists issues ominous warning over mind-altering brain weapons that can control your perception, memory, and behavior. Okay, and this is in the end time headline, all right, which I ain't gonna go into that article, all right, because you could put it together yourself, all right. They're gonna try, they're gonna have brain weapons to be able to hack into your mind, all right, and this is why eventually everything will lead to that RFID, because once they instill that, right, install that to everybody's brain and everybody's right hand, now it's total control of your perception, memory, and behavior. You see? Now, oh shit. Let's go to another one. All right, this is hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second. This is man loses password to implantable C-hip in his hand. Okay. Literally, this guy lost his password. Why? Because he got hacked. You see? That's why you don't want to be putting that in your body, man. One, because the Lord told you not to put that in your body, all right? Anybody that worship the image of the beast, all right, and takes that C-hip, all right, is going to feel the wrath of his indignation, all right, through the holy angels and in the presence of the lambs, like it's in the presence of the lamb, as it tells you in Revelations, the 14th chapter, all right, verse 9, okay? That's exactly what you're going to feel, all right? Missiles, okay? You're going to feel the missiles of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You're going to feel the concentrated laser beams that's going to come out of these so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, for taking that MOTB, man. You're going to have a grievous sore upon your body, okay, upon your hand, you see? And once they put that in you, all right, which is a badge of servitude showing you that you are a slave and belong to Esau, Edom, all right, and you're showing that that's your master, all right, your master is going to tell you what to do, like he's always told all his slaves what to do, you see? But this time he's going to be able to do it through controlling, through computer systems, you see? He ain't going to have to physically tell you no more, man. He could type that shit in your body and tell you what to do. Because he gonna be able because he gonna be able to what? He gonna be able to hack you, okay, at the end of the day. All right, so that's coming through, right? Now you got another one. Let's read this one. It says digital ID comes first because it builds the cage. Digital currency comes after because it locks the door. Without digital ID, they can't track you. Without CBDC, they can't control you. Together is checkmate, all right? And this is what their plan is, all right? But you got people that think that they're going to be able to stand up against this system, okay? You're not going to be able to fight against the system. The only way you can make it out of here is through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man, okay? Because they have no understanding. These people that put these little things together, these memes, right? They have no understanding that they have no control of their life. All right. Man's goings is of the Lord. So how can a man understand his own way? All right. The Lord, all right, because you don't want to learn of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because you chose to have pleasure, all right, than to, listen to the word of the Lord, all right, and take heed of his message. He gonna line you up for that shit, man. There's no way around it. You can rebel all you want. You see, you can come together as many times as you want with all these different type of people. The Lord is going to have you direct your footsteps right to that line. You see, and there's no way around it because it's prophecy. Okay. That's why the Lord said, and he calls it all, both small and great. Okay, we know that Esau is going to be doing that, right? He's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. But who's the one that's controlling Esau, man? Who's the one that's using Esau as that whooping stick? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So in all reality, it's Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai that causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive that mark. Okay, and that's why if you don't want to be partakers of that mark, okay, you need to take the mark of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, which is the Tawah. all right, the mark of exemption, all right, being exempt from judgment, okay, keeping that truth that he has given you, all right, keeping the word of his patience, so that when the hour of temptation comes, all right, the Lord is directing your steps away from it. All right, scriptures say that the Lord know how to he know how to take you away from temptation. Let me grab that real quick. This is Second Peter's, I believe it's 2. Real quick. 2 Peter's 2:9. The Lord Yahushua knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations. You see? And to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. You see? So he know how to deliver the godly out of temptations. Okay? This is Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. You see? So now let's go back, all right, to another article, and I'll pretty much close it up. All right. Matter of fact, I'll read this. This is another one. It says, anything digital can be hacked, wiped, programmed, blocked, frozen, controlled, monitored, etc. You see? So why would you take something digital that this devil has to offer you, man? It says digital ID is the gateway to full control and must be stopped at all costs. Your freedom is at stake. All right. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be stopped, man. This is prophecy that the Lord has played out. All right. And the prophets, all right, are speaking it and speaking the words of wisdom and giving you the manual on how you can defeat this system. All right. To you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speak of. And that's who it's for. All right. It ain't for none of these damn nations, man. It ain't for nobody that's not an Israelite, man. The hell with them. All right. Shit. Line up, take a bunch of them, take 1, 2, 5, 6, whatever you want. Okay. But you Israelites, all right, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you are not to take this, man, or you're going to feel the wrath and indignation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right. Let's grab this is Edward Snowden, all right, which if you've never seen this the movie called Snowden, that's a good movie to watch, man, to see how they're going to control things, man. But he issues a chilling warning. Data mining algorithms are quietly building a digital blueprint for social engineering. This is the groundwork for the bringing a Chinese-style social credit system to the West, all right? And as you know, we always say, man, if you want to know what's going to happen to us in our future, all you got to do is just look at China, man, because China mocks, all right, Esau. He wants to be like America. He wants to be like Esau. So they're advanced in their technology, all right, and they're following the blueprint that Esau already pretty much has, just trying to beat him to the punch, you see. But this is Edwin Snowden.
Credit system. If any of these, they call the social credit system. If any of these family photos, if any of your activities online, if your purchases, if your associations, if your friends are in any way different from what the government or the powers that be of the moment would like them to be, you're no longer able to purchase train tickets. You're no longer able to board an airplane. You may not be able to get a passport. You may not be eligible for a job. You might not be able to work for the government. All of these things are increasingly being created and programmed and decided by algorithms. And those algorithms are fueled by precisely the innocent data that our devices are creating all of the time, constantly, invisibly, quietly, right now. Our devices are casting all of these records that we do not see being created, that in aggregate seem very innocent. You were at Starbucks at this time. You went to the hospital afterwards. You spent a long time at the hospital. After you left the hospital, you made a phone call. You made a phone call to your mother. You talked to her until the middle of the night. The hospital was an oncology clinic. Even if you can't see the content of these communications, the activity activity records, what the government calls metadata, which they argue they do not need a warrant to collect, tells the whole story. And these activity records are being created and shared and collected and intercepted constantly by companies and governments. And ultimately, it means as they sell these, as they trade these, as they make their businesses on the backs of these records, what they are selling is not information. What they're selling is us. They're selling our future. They're selling our past. They're selling our history, our identity, and ultimately they are stealing our power and making our stories work for them, what they call the social credit
See, and that
system.
nigga has to dip. He had to dip. If you watch the movie, which the movie is a true story, now he works for Putin. He works in Russia, man, because they trying to kill him out here in the West, all right, in Babylon the Great. All right, he can't return to this place, man. And he knows a lot about what is going on because he was a whistleblower that left, the system out here because he couldn't, he was just too much. He was like, damn, these niggas is going in hard right now. All right. What they were doing, with all these digital, systems that are being put out there, man. All right. So, hey, that's what's coming. Okay. Let's grab one more and I'll close it out. There's just so many damn. No, this one's gonna be way too long. All right, let me just grab one more. I'm trying to find a quick one. All right, I'll end it with this one. All right, this is it says digital IDs, CBDCs are coming in 2026 and they may end the role of democracy without you knowing. Inside the banking co-op of 2026, right? It says the question arises, in the last 12 months, something unprecedented happened. The EU, Slovakia, approved its digital identity wallet. India expanded Aadhaar linked payments to 1.3 billion people. China accelerated its digital yuan trials to 260 million users. The U.S. Federal Reserve quietly tested programmable settlement rails with major banks. And now all three power blocks are moving toward the same goal, digital ID plus CDCs, right? The pattern behind the headlines, governments are framing it as innovation. Banks call it efficiency. The IMF calls it the future of global payments. But when you line up the actions, it forms a different picture, a new system where identity and money put you in a cage, a system where access replaces rights. Okay, the name behind the push, Christine Lagarde, Lagarde. It says ECB openly said cash will be secondary. Jerome Powell, Fed, confirmed that the U.S. is evaluating CBDC with strict ID measures. India's RBI, all right, announced trials for programmable digital rupees, and the Bank of England partnered with the tech giants on identity-linked wallets. The BIS, the Central Bank of Central Banks, published its unified ledger blueprint. Why 2026 is the year? All major pilot phases end in 2025. Rollout begins in 2026. And once digital ID is mandatory to access financial services, the shift becomes irreversible. You're not logging into a bank, you're logging into the system. Okay? How digital ID becomes the control point. Digital ID ties into travel, healthcare, banking, taxation, voting, government benefits, and it's all convenience, you see? All convenience. And when access to money requires access to identity, the balance of power flips. The system doesn't need to police you. It simply needs to approve or deny your transactions. CBDCs aren't money. They're rules. China already uses programmable digital yuan to pilot zones. Europe is testing restricted spending categories. India is testing expiry-based digital rupees. The US is experimenting with programmable settlement windows. This isn't future tech. This is happening now. And once your money is programmable, your freedom becomes conditional. The banking co-op explained this shift doesn't require elections, policies, public debate. It only requires the quiet adoption of infrastructure, identity rails, and programmable money. After that, you no longer vote with ballots. You vote with compliance. Why the banks want it? Look at the institutions pushing hardest. JP Morgan, HSBC, SBI, Goldman Sachs, DBS. They want your democracy weakened. They want risk eliminated, a programmable system. All right. Programmable system. Let me just turn these lights off. It says a programmable system removes chargebacks, defaults, fraud, cash leakage. It's the perfect economy for them. All right. It says the unanswered questions. If Europe, China, India, and the US countries that disagree on everything are all racing to merge ID with money, what future are they preparing for? A financial reset? A global digital standard? Or an era with algorithms where algorithms become the new lawmakers? It says the final truth: co-ops used co-ops, yeah, I believe that's how I'm saying it right. Co-ops, yeah, used to happen in streets. Now they happen in code. A new system is emerging where your ID is your access, your money is your behavior, your freedom is your score. Control money, and you don't need to control people. You simply control what they're allowed to afford. Stay woke. And the update is already downloading. Your next step, follow the it says follow the wealthy secret people who at the wealthy secret people who already know trusting headlines means being controlled by the same elites who rule the world. We daily decode what schools, media, politicians, and elites hide from you. Money, power, politics broken down, exposed, and revealed. All right. Which that last part, it ain't even matter. He's just trying to, make you join this guy's at page. Okay. But see, this is what this coming to 2026, man. All right. Everything is about to be made digital. Okay. And there's going to be no way around this unless you have Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah on your side, So that's pretty much the point. Lord willing that you were edified. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloyim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom.